This time on the main attraction, I'm going to be painting my backdrop, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Mike with the main attraction, where our focus is what is on our tracks, namely our trains. We're here to learn as much as we can about model railroading and have fun in the process. I'm building my first model railroad, and if you're just starting out in the hobby, come on along for the journey. Of course, if you've been in model railroading for a while, we'd love to have you join us, because we could sure use your experience. Either way, go ahead and click the little subscribe button down there, and then click the little bell icon right next to it, and you'll be notified every time I put up a new video. Today I'm going to start painting my backdrop. I thought I would wait until part or all of the layout was complete, but I changed my mind because part of my layout is just so wide, it's going to be really difficult to reach to the back of it. So I'm going to paint the backdrop first before the tabletop goes on. If you haven't watched my video of putting the backdrop up, I'll put a link to it in the description down below. One of the things I did in the later part of putting up the backdrop was I put vertical supports at the joints of the backdrop pieces. Unfortunately, I didn't do that at the beginning, so I have several joints where the adjacent pieces don't line up together. I thought I could just put some spackling compound in those spots and it would be fine. But some of them are big old cracks that the spackling compound would just push through and end up on the floor. Bad idea. Here's one of those joints so you can see what I'm talking about. To get the joints ready for spackling and painting, I'm going to put some 1x3s behind there to hold the sections together. I have 5 of these joints, so I've cut some 1x3s to length and I'm screwing them into place. Here you can see me in action. I'm using the same kind of screws to hold them in place that I used to put the backdrop up. Number 6 by 3/4 inch screws, and I'm countersinking the heads. Now that that's done, I'm ready to move on. The next part is to prepare the backdrop for painting. So I'm sanding all the edges and screw holes so that there will be as few imperfections as possible. Then I took a damp paper towel to get the dust off of the backdrop. This hardboard dust gets everywhere. I found this spackling compound that goes on pink and dries white, so you can tell when it is dry. I found that a pretty helpful feature. Here I'm going through with the spackling compound and putting it in all the screw heads and joints and the couple places where the backdrop actually cracked. Some of the joints took quite a lot of spackling compound the first time as they were quite big, as you saw a bit ago. I did 2 coats of the spackling compound, sanding it down in between coats. Here you can see the second coat has gone on pink against the first coat, which is white. I sanded down after the second coat as well. I wanted to make it as smooth as possible so that you won't notice any bumps in the painted sky. Keep your shop vac or a damp paper towel handy. All these steps make lots of dust. Okay, I'm ready to start painting the backdrop now. As you can see, I went ahead and primed it. Did that for 2 reasons. Number 1, the backdrop is so dark that I was afraid that the backdrop would just make my blue paint darker, and I didn't want that. I want it to be as bright as possible. So that was one thing. And then the other thing was that I didn't want the paint to soak into the hardboard. I didn't know how much that would happen. I know when you paint drywall, it really soaks in. I didn't know what hardboard would be like, so I thought I'd go ahead and just do that. So I went ahead and primed it, and now you can see I went ahead also and I put blue at the top and bottom just to kind of cut that in so I don't have to worry about hitting outside the line, so to speak. So this is going to be my first coat. From my own experience painting, I don't always get the greatest coverage the first time, so I want it to be really covered and saturated, so I'm going to go ahead and do it twice. So here we go. I went ahead and got my roller a little bit wet before I started, just so it would hold the paint a little bit better, and it seems to be going on real good. A lot of the tutorials that I watched said get the cheapest paint you can, but I went ahead and got almost the most expensive paint because I want good quality on this model railroad. This stuff is going on super smooth. It's just a dream come true. I probably don't need to be doing 2 coats, but I'm gonna anyway. The priming that I did a coat of primer, then I went back and touched up the spackling, a few places where it was a little bit uneven, and sanded that down, and then those spots I primed a second time. I only got about 2 or 3 drops of paint that went through my drop cloth here onto the floor, and I caught them pretty fast, which I'm glad of because I paid a lot of money for this floor. I don't really want to have paint on it. So as you can see, it's going on pretty good, pretty smooth, filling in really good. I'm really happy with it so far. So I'm just going to keep this up and I'll come back for the second coat in a little bit. Alright, I finished the first coat and it looks pretty good. There's a few spots where there's little white spots from the primer showing through. That's pretty normal for my painting, and I think going back over it with the next coat will take care of all of that. So I'm really pleased with the way it's looking. I did have some concern about what kind of roller to use. This is a standard 9-inch roller. This one is called a woven roller and it's shed resistant. This is a little foam roller. It gives you a smoother texture. But looking at what I have so far, which the first coat I did with one of these, and I think there really is, this texture is very smooth, so I'm very happy with that. And this one would probably make it a little smoother because it's made for doors and cabinets, but I think because it's so much smaller, it's also going to take a lot longer. So I'm not going to use that one, and I'm going to put this on and get to work. Well, I went ahead and put on a second coat up here. What do you think? You've seen my whole process now, so let me know in the comments down below what you'd do differently. I think this is a great color. It brightens up the whole room. At some point, I'll be adding some clouds and other details to the backdrop, but for now this is great, and I'm really looking forward to putting some trains down in front of it. If you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up, and if you haven't already and you want to follow along as I continue to build my model railroad, then go ahead and click the subscribe button and the little bell icon right next to it, and you can get notified every time I put up a new video. Well, this is a great color for my sky. In fact, if I'm ever called to help out with household chores, I think I can come down here and nobody'd ever be able to find me. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm Mike. We'll see you next time on The Main Attraction.